In Germany, once the poster child of the pandemic response, can't seem to get the virus under control after months of increasingly harsh shutdown measures. The country is now doubling down on the virus. For more on this, we're joined from Berlin by DW's Nicole. Nicole, thanks so much for joining us. And do tell us about these tough measures, tougher measures, in fact, in Germany now. But for some people, they're not going far enough, are they?
That's exactly right. Even though yesterday state and federal leaders decided on extending the current shutdown until at least mid-February, a stricter mask mandate on public transport and an obligation for employers to allow workers to carry out their tasks from home if possible, there is a very vocal fraction of society demanding more drastic measures. Leading scientists in the country are asking the government to opt for a pan-European no-COVID approach, akin to the zero-COVID demands we've seen not only here in Germany, but also in other countries struggling with the virus. The interdisciplinary proponents want to see a more localized approach made up of mobility control, more strategic testing and stricter quarantine rules. So in a way, leaning on the pandemic control concepts we've seen implemented in Australia and New Zealand as well. The no-COVID advocates believe the government's handling is too lax, too open-ended, and risks to alienate the public with endless shutdowns, which in their current form, they say, will never truly manage to eradicate the virus.
Now, concerns about the mutant strains of the virus. How big are the fears that the new variants might lead to the situation spiraling further out of control?
Very big. The fact that these evolved strains are leading to a barely manageable spike in cases in countries like the UK and Ireland is something that is causing great concern. Just this Tuesday, it was announced that 37 cases of a new coronavirus variant had been detected in a hospital in southern Germany. New meaning that it was neither the B117 strain, which was first sequenced in the UK, nor the aggressive 501YV2 first flagged by doctors in South Africa. Now, while mutations are completely normal, worries exist regarding transmissibility, severity, and of course, efficacy of the newly developed vaccines, that beacon of hope for millions of people around the globe. The heads of the two leading vaccine developers, Pfizer and Moderna, are confident their products will work on the mutations as well, but with rollouts across Europe getting on rather slowly, the most effective protection against the new strains is and will be for some time the much loathed social distancing.
And what's the situation in other European countries?
It really is grim milestones all around. All eyes are, of course, currently on those two countries I mentioned earlier, the UK and Ireland, whose health systems have come under severe strain because of those new variants. Both countries are reporting record numbers of deaths. Same goes for Portugal, a country that did fairly well during the first wave, but has now become the European country with the highest infection rate relative to the size of its population. While many nations are still grappling with a second wave of the pandemic, Spain is already gripped by a rampant third wave, which has seen the country's COVID-19 incidence hitting new highs. The results are new restrictions, lockdowns, and curfews in many European countries, and an urgent call by the European Commission on EU governments to speed up their inoculation programs. They want to see 70% of the bloc's adult population vaccinated by the end of August. But considering that Germany managed to immunize only a bit over 1% of its population in the first month of the drive, that seems awfully optimistic at this point.